Hello, my friends, and welcome to this review of The Witcher Season 2. So, as you can see, I'm on the road again this week and had a chance to watch The Witcher because I seem to have more time to watch stuff when I'm on the truck. Go figure, huh? When I'm not being distracted by my family and all of the madness that was Christmas for our family this year. I would first like to offer an apology to a fellow YouTuber, you know who you are, that I was supposed to do a live stream with last week and completely forgot in all of the madness that was the holidays. And so I do truly apologize for that. I had to cancel on Purple Valkyrie. I was supposed to be doing a live stream with her on Monday to celebrate the 20th anniversary of Lord of the Rings, and had to cancel because my wife volunteered me to go help feed her dad's cows while they were out of town. So, hey, and I got a chance to drive a tractor, which, if you guys know me, I grew up on a farm and I love tractors, so yeah, I couldn't turn that down. But I had forgot all about having to do that, and so that interfered and I missed out on that, and I was really disappointed because Purple knows, and Loki, who was also going to be on the stream, knows how much of a fan of Lord of the Rings that I am. I just a huge fan. So not to get to talk about that was kind of, that whole morning I was feeding the cows, I'm sitting there thinking about Lord of the Rings in my head. Which kind of jibes with The Witcher. Similar, fantasy type world. Since the first season of The Witcher has come out, I have got into the books. I really have enjoyed the books. The first season of The Witcher followed the books pretty well. I mean, for the most part, it follows it fairly decently. They for some reason, they completely renamed the bard that is friends with The Witcher, with Geralt of Rivia, and I didn't like that. They made him much more of an obnoxious character than the character that is in the books, which is called Dandelion, or Dandelion. Some people call him Dandelion, but his name's Dandelion. That was kind of a surprise when I actually went and read the books, how much they had departed from that. They leave out some of the more interesting stories that you'll get in the books of some changelings and stuff from the first season. So the second season, I started watching it, really binged, watched all the way through. Henry Cavill, once again, great performance. I love his portrayal of The Witcher. I just like Henry Cavill overall, because Henry Cavill is just like us. He is an absolute nerd, and he is proud to fly his nerd flag. He paints Warhammer figurines. He is, and he is a fan of The Witcher, and which is why he wanted the role so bad. And I've seen interviews with him and stuff, and he is that guy on set that has the books open and is like, no, this is not how this happened in the book. And so I think that's why the first season probably stuck fairly close, because wherever he had influence, he was like, no, we need to do this the right way. Well, in season 2, and as I say, there will be no spoilers in this. I will try and keep this as general as I can, to prevent spoilage from happening for anybody who hasn't seen the season yet. But seriously, this season departed from the last season. And when I say that, they follow along pretty much the same storyline, but if you've read the books, they are not the same at all. They depart quite a bit from the storyline that is told in the books. Now, I don't know if they base this on books that come after this, like that were written as prequels, and so they just fed it into the storyline. Like I said, I've not read all of the Witcher books. I'm going through them on Audible as quickly as I can, but I only get one book a month. And so, I haven't read them all. I will tell you that. And I have never played the Witcher games. So I guess maybe I haven't done as much research on this subject as I should. I'm a relatively newer fan to the Witcher franchise. So I will admit that right off the bat. I'm no expert. I'm just a fan of what they've been doing so far. And I'm a fan of the books that I have read. They're very good. But here is my problem, is that once again, it is Hollywood taking source material and using it as a vague, mildly referenced source for what they're doing. And when they do that, nothing good ever comes from it. And because of that, you will see, if you are a fan of the books and if you've read them very much, which I've only read them a couple of times, you will see very quickly that they have departed from it, and that they are not following that storyline, but except for in an extremely loose fashion. There's still some great story and there's some good scenes and stuff, but I kept sitting there going, wait, that doesn't happen. That's not supposed to happen at this particular time. I don't know if that was supposed to happen in a different book, and like I said, and they just incorporated it now instead of later. But it really kept me from enjoying this season in the way I would have liked. Yennefer's character kind of suffers a lot from that. We don't get nearly as much interesting stuff from Yennefer as what you'll get in the books. The Witcher, he's still Geralt of Rivia, he's still the Witcher, but even his story arc has departed from the kind of where they were going in the first season, which kind of surprised me, knowing what I do know of Henry Cavill and his love for source material. If you've ever heard him do interviews, he will talk about how Hollywood needs to pay more attention to source material. Because, I mean, look at what we got from Lord of the Rings. Now, Lord of the Rings was not perfect. Lord of the Rings did not follow the books exactly, but they followed them close enough that it was still the same story. This season of The Witcher feels like some fan fiction of the source material. Very much as like I said, of the Matrix Resurrections film. It just feels like bad fan fiction written about something that the original author did better in the first place. So I don't know why you would do that. But it does. It really suffers from a lack of following the source material. There's a bunch of stuff with the elves that I don't remember. I'm gonna have to go back and read the books again or listen to the books again, because that's how I do books, is through audio books. So I think that this season suffered because they just didn't stay true. They didn't follow along with the model of what they had done with the first season. So it's like Hollywood never quite learns its lessons. Like when they follow the source material, when they avoid making stupid decisions based on political agendas, they succeed. And yet they'll take a success like The Witcher and turn around and flush that success down the toilet, thinking, all right, now we've got their eyeballs, now we can start screwing them over and changing everything around because, down with the patriarchy, or whatever it is this week that the left or the socialists or the psychotics in Hollywood have decided that they're going to teach us how evil we are because, America's bad and whatever, colonialism and, well... because this season suffers a lot from the other mentality. The elves are basically to me it came off as, we're going to talk about how bad the Americans were for taking over America from the Native Americans. That's what it felt like. That felt like just an attack against colonialism. And it got irritating by the end of the season. I was just like, okay, we got it. the elves were the poor little defenseless people, and they were the friendly people who invited the humans on their continent, and then they just totally got screwed by the humans. And they beat that drum to death throughout this entire season. And I just thought, okay, got it, move on, and stuff. And they never really did. They just got hung up on anti-colonialism sentiment. At least that's what I got the feeling. But I mean, I would not tell you don't go watch this. Absolutely, go watch this. Give it a shot. Let me know what you think. I'm never going to tell you what you shouldn't watch, because there were some really good moments in this. There's some really great chemistry between Ciri and Geralt that is good. You get some real good emotional performances between Geralt and Yennefer towards the end of the season. So there is some really great stuff in this. But it gets lost in all of the anti-political blah 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 messaging that Hollywood is just desperate to shove into everything. Go give this a watch. Let me know what you think, and leave me a comment and tell me what you thought of this season. And I hope to go back and do more in-depth reviews of each of the episodes to kind of share with you my takes on it, and where they departed and what went wrong, and where they should have stayed more true to the books to keep going what they had in the first season. Now they've got an animated series I haven't watched yet. I don't have a Netflix account. I use my brother's. We trade accounts back and forth. I use his Netflix. He uses my HBO. I mean, we do a lot of swapping, because I refuse to pay money to support Netflix, because I can't. So I actually have other subscriptions to other things that I do not mind supporting. Anyway, let me know what you think, and we will talk to you next time. Bye now.